So, uh, aside from that airplane quip that more of explains and elaborates upon my personality, I quickly wanted to cover the nine Enneagram types because I think that it's a very good tool, not only for writing, but for understanding people's personalities. And ultimately, when the show comes down to psychology and philosophy, that is something that we're going to think a lot about. So the nine Enneagram types include type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, and so on. And I'm going to say them how I interpret them, as well as Enneagram theory. So many of you may be familiar with the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, also known as 16 personalities. I've asked many people in their life because I've tried to group them into tiny little boxes of what I think their personalities are. What their uh, Yes, yeah, wonderful. Yes, I would like to upgrade to Windows 11. Even though I have said no for the past 20 times, yes, I would like to do this now during the podcast. Thank you. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you. I genuinely, I, I'm just so grateful for you removing Paint 3D off of my desktop when I was using that app to make every single image that I work on. Just thank you for interrupting everything that I do. Thank you for genuinely making my life more difficult and making me consider switching to Linux and taking like a 400-hour course just to get to my files because you're making everything a pain in the ass. Thank you for being my only option for an operating system if I want to play Steam games. Genuinely, just I please pump my computer with as much bloatware and AI garbage slop as you can, please. Wonderful. Now I've lost my train of thought. Back to the Enneagram. You may have heard of the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which I try to ask a lot of people to take because I wanted to group them into a nice little personality database like PDB, like boxes of what personalities I think they fall into. And I will probably speak about this more in a later episode or rephrase it in some other way. I'll probably also take a little bit of insight from zodiac signs or numerology, particularly because I think those things are super fascinating. But when it comes to the Enneagram, the numbers are supposed to indicate something different from the 16 personalities type indicator things. Because whenever I have asked people to type themselves on the 16 personalities things, they never understand what MBTI is. That's too many acronyms for Americans to understand. They always understand what 16 personalities is, and they always tell me like, "Oh, my personality type is the wizard." That's not what I asked. Or they say my personality type is INTJ. They're not 5 letters, they're four. I'm not going to start explaining socionics to these people. This is all just bullshit theory at this point, anyways. It's not even psychology. You don't learn this. It's very basic. This is really like this is below AP level. So I'm talking about. I'm talking about. God damn it. I lived in England. How can I not speak in English? I talked to them about it. I spoke to them about it. And every single time they like come up with some different personality type, but eventually I managed to find out what it is, and then I group people based on those. Um, so for those who are curious, mine is ENTJ, and it has remained that way pretty much for a while. I first thought that I was an INTP, then I realized that I'm very extroverted because I've been talking now for about 40 minutes. And that led me to thinking I'm an ENTP. But then later I realized as I read more about socionics and personality theory that you really can't be an ENTP and also be organized at the same time and very body focused and very body oriented and hating when people talk to you a lot and not being very spontaneous and trying to be elaborative with your thoughts. ENTPs are not as organized, so more than likely you are either an INTP or an ENTJ. And then I just read about ENTJ and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's me. And I took the test a bunch of times just to confirm it on a bunch of different websites. And sure enough, every single time I get things that point towards ENTJ, which is a TE, thinking extroverted type. But nevertheless, the Enneagram differs from Myers-Briggs type theory, primarily because it is less, bullshitty, it is less gimmicky, it is less, we'll charge you to do this. And it is more thinking about fears from Jungian and Freudian theory and perspective. So this comes back to Carl Jung's book, Personality Types, which I have also read, because I'm a very well-read, literal nerdy boy. And it expands on the different types of temperaments that people tend to have, and temperaments that stem from early childhood, and the different types of conditioning that they have, the different types of things that they think, the reasons for those things, the results of them, more or less, and how people are just sort of formed by their memories and their life experiences. And it's a very interesting book. It's a quite interesting read. But what I think Carl Jung doesn't get across in his very old-timey Austrian way of speaking is that the Enneagram that has been adapted from his work is very much just about what is your vice, what is your fear, what is the thing that you despise the most. And actually, I have a keyboard. After 25 days, ICE releases Maryland woman who says she is a US citizen. I'm actually going to open this article right about now because it just popped up while I was trying to search this up.